As you've probably heard, we will not be meeting in person for a while. I want to let you know that I'm committed to you finishing your class and actually getting what you need out of it, just like if we would have met in person. This is going to take a lot of work on both of our parts, but we'll get it done. I do need to remind you that this is a college class, and in addition to critical thinking, like we've talked about, there's a lot more that, objectives that I have to meet to make sure that, when if I give you a passing grade, that you got what you should have out of the class. So now we have to put safety first. There's a reason why we're not meeting face to face. But you do need access to a computer to complete the class this way. So if you don't have one, you have to decide, can you go to a family member and say, hey, can I download a few things on your computer so I can finish this class? I would think a good family member will help you out in this case. But ultimately, if you can't do that, there are public libraries, but they're public. So you have to make that decision for yourself whether you're going to complete the class. Now, if you have more than one instructor, you're probably going to have more than one set of instructions during this time. So please be diligent and write down what I'm about to tell you, under the heading, the name of our class, or, classes with Steve, or however you want to do it. Because it's going to be really important that you deliver stuff to me the way that I'm expecting it. Because this, like I said, it's going to be a lot of work on your part. It's going to be a lot of work on my part, keeping track of everything, making comments on everybody's work, and so on. So please, for me and the other instructors, get us straight what we're wanting, what we're expecting. We know that you didn't sign up for an online class, so it's going to take some effort. I didn't sign up to do this much work for 5 classes. And technically, this is not an online class. It's just called remote instruction. It's to get us through this, deal that we have going on in the country, in the world right now. So right now, more than ever, it's ultra important that you check the college email and the Canvas announcements, and very often, because things could be changing daily. Now, if I tell you to upload something and then I change my mind a couple days later, that's on me. So I'll have to look in both places. But if one week I say upload it to XYZ, and then the next week I say, no, I think this week I'm going to have you upload your assignment via this way, that's on you to read the instructions. Now, probably the most important thing is that we communicate with each other. You need to let me know ASAP if you have any difficulties completing any of the tasks that I give. Under no circumstances can I just have you go silent on me and then 2 weeks come back and ask for stuff, without a doctor's excuse that excuses that. You're stuck to the stuff that we went over. And remember, that's in the first day videos. You can always go back to that. You can always reread the syllabus. That might be a very important thing for you to do right now. But I can't accept excuses like you didn't know how to turn it in. It's all going to be presented to you. You're going to watch the videos that I produce, read the instructions and Canvas announcements, and then we go from there, ask questions as needed. Now, let's try to help each other out as much as we can in these situations. Now, I have what's called a student view inside of Canvas, so I get a pretty good idea of what things look like to you, but it's far from perfect. So if somebody tells me, hey, I just can't simply find the discussion that you're talking about, then I may ask for your help, but you as another student who could find it, and ask me if maybe you could take a screenshot or like a video and show me how you found it, what it looked like to you. Okay, so lucky for both of us, I have taught online classes before, and of course, as many of you know, hybrid classes, a lot of them. So this switch will not be too difficult. It's not like we're breaking brand new ground. However, it's still going to take experimentations and adjustments along the way. I just mentioned that the way you turn in an assignment could change from week to week, and the importance of paying attention to what's in writing and what's on the videos. Please be extra attentive to anything that's in bold. When I go through the announcements. That's the stuff I'm really expecting you to pay attention to and not, make mistakes, whether it's a format that I'm asking for or whatever it is. I'm not used to this much typing, never in my life. So please, forgive me in advance. I'm asking for your forgiveness in advance for the plenty of typos and spelling errors. Now, that's not an excuse for me to get sloppy. So I still do want to know if there's any errors that you find, especially in the video instruction and in the printed instruction in the Canvas announcements. It's more when it's one-on-one where I'm giving you feedback on an assignment, like in a discussion post. I often do like you instead of the word your, little mistakes like that. If you can read it and it still makes sense to you, awesome. But if it doesn't make sense to you, email me right away and let me know. Which brings me to a next very important point. If you have a question for me, the only way I want that question is an email via Canvas. So please do not just type in my email and email me through any email system. Do it right through Canvas. And I'll show you how, just in case you forgot how to do that in just a second. Also, when we do discussions and things like that in Canvas, which I'll show in a little bit, there are going to be like little ways that you can comment back to me in the discussion. Please don't do that. I won't be constantly checking those like I will email. There's a little chat bubble inside of Canvas that you could click on. Please don't do that. If we start a discussion in Canvas, most of the time the discussion is there so that you post your work and then I go in and I make comments on the work. Some of my comments are in the form of a question like, how do we know this, or what does this mean? They're not necessarily, well, let's put it this way, they're rhetorical questions in that way. They're to make you think about the redesign for that work. So I'm not waiting for an answer. If I do have an actual question for you, I'll extend the same courtesy and email you. If you do have a question for me based on what's in that discussion post, just email me, refer to the discussion post so I can look at it, and then I'll either respond to you in the discussion post or send out a separate email. And know this, I will respond to emails as soon as possible because I realize this is a big deal for all of us right now. So I want to help you as much as I can. Know this, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you're going to get an answer from me probably quite quickly during the business part of the day. Those will definitely be my fastest days. Then I'll also be checking emails on Saturday and Sunday. I'm usually quite busy on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those are my graphic design days, so I may not get to you nearly as quickly, but I will check. And of course, you can send the email out anytime, day or night. I want to, in full disclosure, get out to what'll be the most likely times and days that you'll get a response from me. Okay, so the way to email me through Canvas is get in Canvas. This happens to be Saddlebacks, but SCC's looks the same other than a slightly different color change. You will see off to the left over here these icons. Look for the one that says Inbox, click it. Once you get in here, you will not see that, but you will see this. And up at the top, you will see this compose a new message. You simply click on that. You use the drop down here to find our course. And usually the newest courses you have will be under favorites. I don't know why they started doing that. You find us and then you just go under 2 and you select teachers. I'm the only teacher, so I'm the only one that'll get the email. And then you go to obviously your subject and your content, and if you need to put any attachments in there. Okay, another thing that I'll be doing is putting this little code here in the announcements, just a RT in parentheses to stand for remote, for our remote education for the next couple weeks. And the way that'll look is when you are looking at an announcement for a particular class, these announcements are made weeks in advance and they just automatically get posted a week in advance for the particular class. So the stuff that right now is different from what I had intended, or a different way of turning things in, we'll have this RT emblem next to them, letting you know that you need to pay specific attention to that for turning the assignment in. And in a few minutes, I will go over specifically what's due for each class. But right now, I'm going over the stuff that applies to everybody. So one last thing to discuss is on Canvas, there's a thing called discussions. And that's, at least for the interim, is how we will turn in most of our assignments. And they'll vary a little bit different on what you need to do for them. So that'll be explained on a class per class or assignment per assignment basis. But just so you can see what and where these things are, usually they'll be off to the side here. And let me just kind of show you a little bit specifically of what one might look like. So if I just start to go into a class, and again, it doesn't matter which class, which school, and I put this on student view, and then you should still be seeing all this stuff here. And then you would click on discussion, and then you may not see this kind of stuff here, but you should start to see these where it lists a particular week or a particular assignment. And then you would click on that, and then it should be pretty obvious when you're looking here how you can add to this post. Now, I believe what happens is there'll be a button here that says like post or something to that effect, and you make your post. I believe this reply button is going to be if you need to make a reply to somebody else's post. So that would be in the case of a critique. But if any of what I told you is not true, I'm sure either A, one, you'll be able to figure it out, or B, two, you'll ask me and we'll figure it out together. What I'll do for the rest of this video and into the next video or two is start to go over the specifics for classes. So where this video was embedded for you, probably in announcements and on a video, you will below it or above it see a table of contents. So for example, I'll start out with Art 129, and I'm not doing these in any particular order other than the order that the next classes are coming about. So what you'll see is something like this. So if you're in Art 129, you jump to 12 minutes and 55 seconds in this video, and so on. So if you're in any other class other than Art 129, you don't have to be watching right now. Just find where you do need to jump ahead in the next video, and you should be good from there. Okay, so Art 129, we're already a hybrid. That's great. That means not going to be a huge learning curve here. The library will remain open. The library has 8 iMacs with the Adobe software. March 18th is the last day to turn in Project 1. So that's pretty important. If you do not have a grade yet for Project 1, it means that you didn't turn in everything that I needed to grade it. If you do have a grade for Project 1, then you're definitely okay to just replace what's on that site with the CSS site. However, if you do not have a grade for Project 1, please take care of Project 1 first and separate. Don't add the CSS to it. Because it makes it very hard for me to separate what I'm supposed to be grading for that project. Now, if you did get all of Project 2 done and you're going to turn in Project 1 late, no problem there either. Just get another URL from 000 Hosting, and that way you can easily turn both of them in on the same day. Now, next week, when class begins, there will be an email that goes out roughly at the beginning of class, and a new video will be uploaded in Canvas, embedded in that next announcement. Now here is the way that you will be turning in Project 2 CSS. So anytime after 9 a.m. on Wednesday the 18th, please turn your website in following these instructions. Send me an email through Canvas. In the body of the email, your name. You know what? I'm running out of time here. Next video.